Welcome back to the channel. It's July, so I believe I can finally give you an update on our Pontiac Grand Am because I think winter's over. But if it snows tomorrow in Chicago, you can blame me, I guess. So our goal was to build a car, buy it, and fix it up for less than $1,000 so that we could drive it for the winter. Link's up there if you want to see everything I did to it in order to be able to drive it for the winter. And we managed to get in under budget. $745 to be exact. So that gave me a little bit of room to drive for the rest of the year and hopefully not spend it to not break my $1,000. Now, if you don't want to go watch the video and see all the work that I did to this thing, and you just want a gist of why we were bothering to build a $1,000 beater, it's because up here in the land of corruption and rust, well, they salt the crap out of the roads. And when they do, it eats our good vehicles. So the best way to protect those good vehicles is to park them for the winter and drive something like this. And there are some other advantages to this. Now, when I got this thing, it was back in November, and it started off a little slow. And everyone was kind of messing with me, said, hey, you built this for nothing, we haven't had any snow. On the contrary, we had a lot of rain. And up here, where the corruption is high, we salt the rain. Why? Not for our safety. It's because some politician's probably making money somewhere. So for the first month and a half that I had this thing, the roads were salted pretty much every night and it just rained. So it was just getting a saltwater bath literally every night, which is probably worse than driving it in the snow and the slush. So I think I got it ready at just the right time and parked all the good cars. But it wasn't for nothing. We eventually did get that snow and I was driving this thing around, did great in the snow. Front wheel drive, no problem. So it was definitely worth the time I spent to fix this car up. Now, I was reminded of a couple other reasons to drive beaters, and one of them is because you don't really care what happens to your car. You can park in the front spot right next to a car that's parked way too close to you and you don't care if they get out and they ding your doors. But not having to worry about door dings isn't even the best part of it. The best part is when you get into an accident with it, you don't even have to worry about it. And when a Subaru cuts you off because they can't see that you're there with all the vape smoke they got coming out the windows, yeah, it doesn't really matter. Of course, I didn't know it at the time because I was in the left lane doing 70. He decided to pass a line of cars, and if I'm in the left lane doing 70, it's because the guy in front of me is doing 70. And there was no room between the guy in front of me and me, and the Subaru tried to fit there. So he ended up clipping the front of my car and almost lost it. He didn't, although that would have been really exciting. And then he decided he was gonna run. He didn't get far. I did chase him down. Just because, well, we're doing 70 miles an hour. I didn't know what was wrong with my car, so I want to make sure that if there was something, well, really wrong with it, he was going to pay for it. Turns out the only thing wrong with it was just this little scrape here. And there you go. There's a picture of his car. So he had a whole lot more damage than I did. I just went my separate way. He learned his lesson, and the cop told him to tell me thanks, but he wouldn't even look at me at that point. So yeah, I don't have to worry about the car. If this had been a nice car, I would definitely be painting the bumper or at least buffing it out. I'm not even going to waste the time with the buffer. And because we were driving our beater, the Supervisor got to go everywhere. And you could see that, well, she left her mark on the car. And you know what the best part is? I don't have to clean it. If this was a nice car, I'd have to have it detailed before I could sell it, or my truck that she's not allowed in. But yeah, she could go everywhere with me and we don't have to worry about cleaning up the car. I did upgrade the radio because I wanted the Apple CarPlay and the navigation, and this thing did tour, well, a lot of Illinois, so it was nice to have that. I can't really factor that in because I took that out of a Pontiac Grand Am that I had and I've been saving it for a while. So I got to use it. It was plug and play because it already had all the right plugs and everything else to go right into it. Didn't have to buy anything. No dash kit, no nothing. Okay, I know what you're saying. We've heard enough of all the good things. Let's hear the bad things. We want to hear the drama, all the problems you had, so we can laugh at you for buying this car because clearly it was never going to make it. Well, sorry, it made it. I really only had two problems. One was user error, which was my fault. I managed to lock the keys in it because I have this nasty habit of driving when I'm playing musical cars, of driving with my foot out the door and not closing the door. I don't know why. It would take me half a second to pull my foot in and close the door and probably be safer and cause less problems. Just a bad habit, haven't been able to break it. So this car, it's not set up so that when you put it back in park, it unlocks the doors. So closed the door, came back, car was all locked up. Luckily, when I got this car, it had two keys. So just went in the house, opened up the door, and all was good. So I reprogrammed the locks, and I will show you how to do that now. It requires no tools, no nothing, just basically playing with the door switch. And actually, the manufacturer gave you the little card to show you how to do it. So we're just going to follow their directions to set it up so that I don't do this anymore, because it's easier than actually learning to not drive with my foot hanging out the door. And there was also one little other problem, and it still has that problem, and it's going to continue to have that problem. And that's the heat shield rusted off the bottom of the car, and it's sitting down on the exhaust. So it rattles quite a bit. I'm not going to fix it because I don't really want to put it back up there and weld it up. I guess if it really annoys me enough, I'll make some bracket or something, but for right now, it can just sit on the exhaust and rattle away. So let's reprogram our locks so that we don't lock our keys in it anymore. So to reprogram our door locks, it's done all with our door lock switch. There's 4 modes. The first one locks the doors when you take it out of park, and when you put it back in park and turn the key off, it unlocks the doors. That's the mode that I want. The second one does just the driver's door unlock. The third one does, which is what it was in, does locks the doors, but then when you put it in park and shut the key off, the doors stay locked, which just gets annoying because you got to keep hitting the button to get out of the car. And the fourth one, it doesn't do anything. It just, doors don't lock themselves. You got to do everything manually. So we definitely don't want that. We're lazy. So we want the first one where it does everything for us. So we turn the key on, make sure you got the window open so you don't lock the keys in the car. You hold the button down for 10 seconds and it'll beep, tell us what mode we're in. We're in 2 now. Release it, press it again. We're in 3 now. Release it, press it again. We're in 4 now. 1 more, we should go back to 1 and be right where we want. Okay, that should be what we want. Turn the key off. So here's what I did in print. And yes, they actually put this in the owner's manual and even gave you a little laminated plastic card that came with the car when you bought it, although those probably got lost. In case I didn't explain it well, there you go. You could just read it, and that's exactly what I did. Key off, start it up, doors unlocked, put it in drive, it locked the doors, put it in park, turn the key off, it unlocks the doors. So we programmed it properly. Amazing. Back when the manufacturer didn't want you to take it to the dealer and spend a ton of money to have the car do what you want it to do. If I'm being completely honest, I was planning on spending a couple bucks in this thing. I figured there was no way that thermostat was going to be any good, but somehow we managed not to get a thermostat code. At the bare minimum, I kind of expected an evap code for some kind of leak somewhere. Usually it's the filler neck, but nope, it even passed that monitor. So it really had no issues whatsoever. Apparently the red car curse is over. I don't know. This is our annoying heat shield. There's supposed to be a bracket here that you can see. Rotted away a long time ago. Another one over here. This one is pretty much the only one. Not this one. I got 2 of them here hanging on. The rest are just there for show. So I could just replace this heat shield and weld it to the floor, but then you got to pull the carpet or risk a fire. And I have had bad luck with fires. So maybe we won't do that. I could just make a bracket and screw it into the floor, which might be what I end up doing. Till then, doesn't hurt anything. We're just gonna leave it alone. So that's it. All I had to do in 4,000 miles was fix that heat shield, or neglect to fix the heat shield and reprogram the door locks. I did do an oil change, but I didn't think you guys needed to see that again, and I didn't use a Fram filter, so I couldn't upset the internet. So that's it. I guess you can build a reliable beater for less than $1,000, even if it is red. So that's the update for our beater Grand Am, and we got an entire winter out of it, and we're still under budget. So I think we're gonna bring this thing back next winter and see if we can get 2 winters out of it, which would technically make it less than $500 per winter. I can't replace any rusty panels on my truck for that price. So I'm definitely going to be happy to drive this thing again. But for right now, we're just gonna go park it and let it rust some more. So hopefully it doesn't get too rusty and we won't have to put any money into it before we take it out on the road in the winter. We'll disconnect the battery so that hopefully the battery lasts another year. And well, can't Can't really stop the brakes from rusting, so maybe I'll take it around a block every once in a while. It's almost a shame that our Grand Am proved to be so reliable that we can use it again next winter, because I already had this winter's beater challenge. Now this is exactly how I got it and where I got it. I'm told it has quite a few miles on it, but haven't been able to verify it. It doesn't even run right now. So I'm gonna get it running and probably just end up flipping it. So I think I might make a video to let you know what I had to do to it and how much money I made when I got rid of it. Or maybe it will be our beater. It would be nice to have four-wheel drive, even though the Grand Am isn't all that bad in the snow. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.